Hello everybody and welcome to a new video here on my channel, 𝗟𝗧'𝗦 Skin Expert. And in today's video I want to talk a little bit about acne, but one facet of acne in particular, the 𝗞𝗘𝗘𝗣. It is for short called 𝗞𝗘𝗘𝗣, and it plays a role in acne, but not the only role. So let's just backtrack for 1 second and review. Acne is a multifaceted skin condition that involves color, secretions, and texture. Color, by that I mean there is typically an inflammatory process accompanied with acne lesions, with the exception of acne grade 1, which often has no inflammation associated. But number 2, there's secretions, the secretions of lipids, but also secretions of hormones that plays a big role in acne, and also texture, as in corneocyte compaction, or in fact incomplete or disrupted corneocyte compaction, that all contribute to acne. So it is additional to that, something that we want to keep in mind, that the quality and quantity of the lipids of the skin, or the oil in the skin, is also important. So keep in mind that it does have a nutritional factor as well. I don't talk a lot about and harp on about the nutritional side of things because that is not my zone of genius, but I do know and want to preface that there is no doubt a very tight gut, skin, and brain trifecta. So definitely gut health plays a role here as well. And this is where I have professional colleagues that I typically refer my clients to make sure that everything is good in that respect as well. At the very basis, a good omega supplement, and chasing omega-3 in particular, is really beneficial in the treatment of acne. Okay, so let's talk about the acne in itself and our friend the 𝗞𝗘𝗘𝗣. If he is where he is supposed to be, so I'm going to share my screen with you. I have an iPad here with me and I do want to draw you guys some pictures today. Welcome to my art studio here. So we have our friend the 𝗞𝗘𝗘𝗣, and his job, in very broken down basic terms, is to convert triglycerides to free fatty acids. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that the 𝗞𝗘𝗘𝗣, let's draw him here, that his job is to turn the triglycerides into free fatty acids, which contributes to giving us an acid mantle of 5.5. Obviously, on the acidic side, and that is actually in our benefit. It works to keep the problematic or harmful bacteria at bay, which typically thrive in a more alkaline environment. So by having our acid mantle, or the surface of our skin, which is part of our first line of skin barrier defense, slightly acidic, really at that basis fights a lot of these bacteriums from entering our skin and creating problems to begin with. Now, the problem with acne is that oftentimes we really abuse the acneic skin by really scrubbing it and peeling it often to oblivion. We treat it more like the kitchen floor than the living appendix that it is. So by stripping the natural oil of the skin, we are removing the food of this guy. Oops, there's deleting him. Oh no, let's see if I can get him back. We're basically working on deleting literally the food of the surface of the skin that this guy lives on, which is super important because he is an anaerobic bacterium. So if there is no oil on the surface of the skin for him to feed off, for lack of a better description, I know that sounds disgusting, but work with me here for a second, then he will go down into our sebaceous gland, where there is a smorgasbord of this particular food for it to live on. Oil. So basically that's oil. So let me just put this in a different way for you, just to kind of enlighten. So on the surface of the skin, we have the acid mantle. So literally here is like an invisible shield. This is that 5.5 slightly acidic shield that we have called the acid mantle. The 𝗞𝗘𝗘𝗣 really contributes to the microflora of the skin, or the microbiome of the skin. He is our friend if we give him what he likes for lunch. If we remove his lunch, he gets hangry like the rest of us. So his job is to convert triglycerides into free fatty acids. If we strip this off the surface of the skin, he will move down into the sebaceous gland, to the smorgasbord of food that resides there for him. But now what he's going to do in here is he's going to turn triglycerides into free fatty acids. But this is an area that is destined to be a pH neutral. So what do you guys imagine happens? And I'll just move that. Sorry, I'll move my face out of the way so you can see. What do you think happens if we strip the surface of the skin? The 𝗞𝗘𝗘𝗣 goes down. He's converting the triglycerides into free fatty acids in an area that's destined to be neutral. How do we see this on the skin? We see it as an increase in inflammation. To begin with, that will signal an SOS message basically to our macrophages and our neutrophils that will come, because it sees it like an invasion of our being, and that triggers that whole inflammatory response for healing basically to occur. So one of the first things to do when we are treating an acneic skin is I ask my clients to stop stripping their skin. Even if they cleanse nothing for 2 or 3 days, just to kind of recalibrate the skin, we see an improvement in skin quite often. Leaving the oil where it should be. In other words, if we are restoring the microflora of the home for the Mr. 𝗞𝗘𝗘𝗣 here, he will go back to where it's supposed to be on the surface of the skin here, and he will happily carry on doing his job where he's supposed to be. But he is smart. If we disrupt his habitat and disrupt the homeostasis of the skin surface, he will go to where he can find what he needs to thrive, even if that is in the pilosebaceous gland, creating an inflammatory mess. Now, keeping that in mind, that's the very first thing. Super easy. Reconsider basically what cleanser you're using. Don't squeak your skin. If it squeaks like the kitchen floor, you have stripped your skin of all the natural oils of the skin. Oil is your friend. It is about quality, not quantity. If you have a lot of oil that is sticky and tacky, that is a quality issue. Yes, there is something as too much oil, but let me tell you, it's much easier to control excess oil than it is to bring oil to the skin when there's nothing. And oil is a critical component of a healthy skin barrier. I always say to my clients that you kind of want to think about oil and water being in balance to facilitate a healthy skin. A good functioning skin really requires a good balance of water and oil. If you don't have one or the other, you're gonna inevitably have some type of trouble, and that manifests in different skin conditions. So think about this. Let's remove harsh cleansers. You want to be thinking of your skin as sensitized. Sensitive is a whole different ballgame, but perhaps you've been a little bit rough with your skin, treating it like cotton instead of laundering it like silk. Let's try and treat an acneic skin, which is highly inflammatory and already irritated, more like a silk garment that it deserves to be treated as, and you will see that the skin's response is actually really positive. And then from there on, there are other things we can do to contribute to treating the acneic skin. Now, I did say that there is that corneocyte compaction story associated with that. All acne has a hormonal component, and I'll keep all those topics in line for another video on another day. But this is all about the 𝗞𝗘𝗘𝗣, and I just wanted to tell you he's our friend as long as he is where he's supposed to be. But remove his lunch and he gets hangry like the rest of us, and he will go searching and then binge, which is not very good. So that's my analogy for it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'd love to know what you are doing for your clients and what works when you are treating acne for your client's skin. Okay, guys, in the link below or in the description below, I have some of my favorite links for you, including to some of my own products. Have a look, let me know if you have questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.